So Locke thinks that he's proven now that there are no innate ideas, and you can agree or disagree, but we're going to move on a little bit and talk about what he actually thinks ideas are now. And so he's going to talk first, and this is all he talks about when in our particular reading. He's going to talk first about what he calls simple ideas, and these are the more important ones for him. So simple ideas are ideas that can't be broken down at all, and so the other type of ideas are complex ideas, and those are ones that can be broken down. So an example of a complex idea, and these are the ones that we will not talk about this week, is something like your idea of a horse. A horse isn't a simple idea because we could break it down, right? If you think about your idea of a horse, picture a horse in your mind, right? And now you can picture just the leg, just the torso, just the head, just just that color of say brown, all these things. And then some of these you could even break down further, right? You could take just that horse's head, and now you can think about just the eye, just the nose, just the mane, etc. So horse isn't simple; it's complex, and these are not what Locke wants. They are not what Locke wants to talk about first. The ones he wants to talk about first are the simple ideas, and these are ones that he calls clear and distinct. And some examples are, say, the coldness of a particular ice cube, the smell of a lily, the taste of a sugar, the hardness of a particular rock. And it's important to note here that he's not talking about sort of in general, right? Because those would be complex ideas. You could break those down into individual cold ice cubes, individual smells of individual flowers, etc. He's talking about this one impression, right? So if you look at your computer screen right now, the exact color of blue you're seeing at the back of the slide, this impression right now, that's a simple idea. He's going to say an important characteristic of these is that we can't make them up ourselves, and we can't destroy them, we can't break them down any further. And this is interesting, right? Because just try to do it, try to make up for yourself an entirely new simple flavor, or an entirely new touch, something like that. It's easy to combine, right? You can think, oh yeah, a new flavor, no problem. I'll just combine chocolate and peanut butter. Well, no, that's a complex flavor, right? You've taken two other ones and put them together. You want to just invent something completely new, and Locke's going to say you can't do it. Right? You can invent new complex ideas, and this does the trick most of the time. But you can't invent new simple ideas, and the simple ones are the really important kind, because they are the building blocks for all of our other ideas, for all of our complex ideas, that is. And so he's going to say there are four kinds of simple ideas, and he wants to talk a little bit about each kind. So the first kind is the kind that comes from a single sense. Then there's a second kind that comes from more than one sense. There's a third kind that comes not from senses at all, but from reflection. And there's a fourth kind that comes from both using your senses and from reflection. So he's going to run through these one by one, and we'll just follow him along his path. So first he wants to talk about the single sense simple ideas, the first kind, the kind that only come from these of one sense. And he's going to say it's really hard to describe these because we don't usually have names for them. We don't have names for them because of this issue we just talked about, that you're not talking, when you discuss a simple idea, you're not talking about a whole class of ideas, right? So if I talk about the taste of a Reese's peanut butter cup, right, that's actually what you're thinking about right now is probably thousands of times, hundreds of times, dozens of times, however many times you've had a Reese's peanut butter cup in your life. Right, and that's not a simple idea, that's a complex idea. The simple idea is like the taste of the immediate last one that you ate. Right, and that doesn't really have a name necessarily, because why would you? So Locke wants to give an example of a simple idea from one sense, and he wants to use solidity. So I'm sitting at a desk right now, so if I want to figure out whether my desk is solid, I'm going to use my sense of touch, right? I'm going to try to touch it. Nope. Looks like it's pretty solid. My hand doesn't just go right through. We know something is solid then by touching it when it stops us from continuing to move. It stops the motion of our touch. From this, we know that space is taken up, and so we can use this knowledge to tell when something is solid or not. He'll allow, yeah, sure, you could use maybe vision to tell when things are solid too. But you can only do that when you already have some experience with the kind of thing that it is, right? So if I look at a bunch of trees out my window, right, I can tell that they're probably all solid, but that's only because I've had some experience with trees before, and I know that I can't pass through them. Right? If you look at something entirely new, the only way whether you're going to find out whether it's solid or not is you need to try to actually touch it. He's going to talk next about multiple sense simple ideas, and he's just going to run right through them real quickly. He's going to say there are plenty of examples here. They're almost all involving a combination of touch and sight. So extension, something that exists in space, you can either poke it or you can look at it. Same for figure, something with a particular shape. You can feel the shape or you can see the shape, and the same for rest or motion. So multiple sense simple ideas are a lot like the single sense ones, they just use two senses. We'll talk about the rest in our next video.